Okay. All right. I'm here.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right. Okay. All right. Usually I will go into a video and I'll shout out whoever sent me this, but I kid you guys not, okay? There's been so many people sending me this video in which they're saying, hey, you should react to this. This is a really great video, and I haven't watched it at all. Even my best friend Switch Hill, he messaged me and he was like, hey man, you probably should watch this video. It's pretty nice. But this is how the San Antonio Spurs avoided a huge mistake, baby. And I'm pretty sure, like, I'm going to agree with almost anything in this video just from that title, because this is basically what I've been trying to say. Like, this one title is what I've been trying to say for the past, like, several weeks now. Now, before we talk about that really quickly, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description for that. Got some good stuff, man. Just go check. Look, you don't have to buy anything, okay? Just go to the shop. Just go there. I promise you're gonna like what you see. All right, just save it and come back to it later. If you want to support it a different way, obviously Patreon, YouTube member, $2 per month. All right, so for those of you who skipped over that part, let's talk about this video. All right, let's see how the Spurs avoided a huge mistake. Now, I did see like 8 seconds of this, so I lied about never seeing it. I did see about 8 seconds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make this small, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm also gonna put the greatest the greatest Spurs big man of all time on the screen. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to make it small so I don't necessarily get hit with copyright. Let's see if we can finesse the system a little bit. But yeah, YouTube doesn't like me. I don't know how he got away with it, but I don't know. Kudos to him. Also, just for this title, I'm subscribing. All right, let's go and listen.
What if I told you by this time next year, this man right here could be a
Oh, wait. There we go.
San Antonio Spur? And if that's not convincing enough for you, how about this guy? Or this guy? Or this guy? Or this guy?
Those are a lot of
that's
guys.
Cool, but the point of this video isn't to get you aroused about every top prospect in next year's class.
I love you, my boy. Actually, I don't know you, but I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit.
Which you should definitely not be getting aroused about because, yeah. But we're not here to talk about how those guys fit in San Antonio because that's purely hypothetical. What isn't hypothetical, however, is the decision the Spurs made to give themselves the best chance at winning another NBA championship. Because although it might not seem like it right now, but 5 years from now, when Greg Popovich is 100 years old and lifting his 6th Larry O'Brien trophy, Spurs fans will look back on this year as the turning point. Do you know what's
easy peasy? Okay, so I don't know if you guys watch Better Call Saul, okay? And it was a phenomenal series. I won't spoil anything. But one thing in that series that they talk about a lot is crossroads. And that's just really good writing in general. Like, you usually give your players, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of video games. I've been playing some games. You usually give your characters some choices, and that's what makes it interesting when you have to make hard, tough choices. It just keeps you engaged. And they talk about that in the show all the time about crossroads. You have to take a road. And the San Antonio Spurs were refusing to take a road over the past few seasons. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just harp on them and say, oh, the Spurs, they should have did this, they should have done that. Because I do understand winning like 50 plus games for like so many seasons. It would be hard just to like change your brain process like that and say, hey, it's time to tank. No, it's really hard, okay? And it hasn't been that long, but obviously they haven't really chose a direction. And this was the one defining moment where I sit back and I'm actually excited. I wasn't that excited for last season, but I'm excited about this season because it's like, okay, we have a purpose. We know where we're going. We chose a road. So this was a crossroad, and they definitely took it. That was a lot of nothing that I just said. Now, I said something, but you weren't listening. You skipped over that part. And that's how my cat died. See, now they have to go back and see how my cat died. Anyways.
It's really interesting to me. The move that is going to make this rebuild possible isn't being received by everyone in the way I would have thought.
Wait. Yo, the Athletic gave it a...
Going to make this rebuild possible isn't being received by everyone in the way...
The Athletic gave it a D? They gave the Dejounte Murray trade a D? Okay, we got to do a video on, not just the Athletic, we got to do a video on the DJ trade because it was actually better than people think. That's ridiculous.
way I would have thought. However, I don't even want to talk about the benefits of the Dejounte Murray trade from an asset standpoint just yet. To truly understand why this was such an important move for the Spurs franchise, look no further than their last 3 regular seasons. 32 wins, 33 wins, 34 wins. Some might
That's terrible.
see that as progress, which it is not, because that would be another 2 decades before you were in championship contention, and by that point in time, Pop would genuinely be 100 years old. Oh, and there's also the fact that the prior 2 seasons weren't full seasons, so the Spurs have actually got worse. But that's all minor detail.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. That is so true. Yeah, because the COVID stuff. Yeah, that's wild.
What isn't minor is the fact that the last 3 seasons the San Antonio Spurs have been unequivocally mediocre, and mediocrity should be the furthest thing from mind.
True. Guys, I promise I'm getting YouTube Premium. I promise, okay? I promise. Someone literally, like, gave me a member, or became a YouTube member, and they were like, hey, man, get YouTube. I am, I swear, okay? It will help the content so much more.
Franchise, because just to contextualize the last 3 seasons, prior to 2020, San Antonio had finished below 500 once in 30 years.
Jesus.
3 whole decades with 1 sub 500 finish to show for it, and they started the cursed decade of 2020 with 3 of them in a row. So this begs the question, how is trading away their best player going to bring them back to the top? It's funny.
Bro, this is so much common sense. Unfortunately, this poor man, this poor soul has to make a video on this, and he really shouldn't have to.
I'll ask that, because again, before I talk about that, what if I told you there was someone already on the roster that could do exactly what Dejounte did last year and make that leap into being a potential all-star?
I know what he's about to say. Is he saying Keldon? I'm pretty sure it's Keldon Johnson. Now, the reason why I think it's Keldon Johnson is because the numbers that DJ basically put up was because of his usage rate. Keldon Johnson's usage rate wasn't that far behind, but yeah, as far as those numbers, I feel like Keldon could probably put up the same number, especially points, point-wise. It just comes down to your usage, and I think his usage is about to go way up.
Meet Keldon Johnson.
Big body.
Okay.
He says, are you listening, Charge?
Big body, baby.
Keldon Johnson, my goodness, throws it
Come
down.
on. Don't copyright me. Come on, NBA, don't copyright me.
And if it sounds like a reach to suggest he could be the next one to have a major breakout, let's do some convincing. I could start by showing you the film and his ability to get downhill with a really nice combination of speed, ball handling, and strength, like on this play where he fakes the dribble handoff before just consuming Michael Porter Jr. at the rim, or the craft on this play where he avoids Giannis with a reverse layup, or the fact he should.
He's losing me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. He's losing me a little bit. I love me some Keldon, but this isn't that impressive. But it looks like he's about to talk about the 3-point percentage. Now this is impressive.
40% from 3 on over 5 attempts a game and can do things like this off the dribble, but just forget about all of that for a second. Over his last 28 games, Keldon Johnson averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on good efficiency as a 22-year-old.
Wait, really? Yo, that's 47, 36, and 80. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Last 28 games. Was that after the Derek White trade? Did we have a whole 28 games? I guess that's after the Derek White trade. That's pretty good. 20
points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on good efficiency as a 22-year-old, which might just seem nice.
Can I say something too? Okay, look, this is my video. I do what I want, all right? I'll talk over whatever I want. All right, I think this is my theory, okay? I think he's going to have even a better season this season, not only because of usage rate, because of Josh Primo. I think Josh Primo is a very good passer, and no one even sees it yet. Very good facilitator, very smart, very high IQ. So it's going to really help your boy Keldon.
But it's not just nice. Because
Trey Jones, too.
There were only 6 other players, 22 or younger, to average 20-plus points in that same period of time. Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, Tyler Hero, Darius Garland, Jalen Green, and LaMelo Ball. 5 of those players were selected within the first 5 picks of the draft. Tyler Hero was drafted 13th and is purely an offensive-minded player. Keldon Johnson was drafted 29th, and whilst he's not the greatest defender, he's no slouch on that end of the floor either. Now just think about that for a second. Think about the company he's in, and then the fact he's now going to be the undoubted...
I don't know. You're taking something very specific, I think, to say, oh, in this stretch of games, he had those numbers. It's like, What about the entirety of the season? Like, what did it look like for those teams? What type of impact did they have, opposed to, Keldon? I can't do that. I can't just put the players together and say, oh, they had the same similar numbers for this stretch of time, therefore he's on their level. No. But that's fine. That's a fine point, though. This is a good video, by the way.
Number one option in the absence of Dejounte Murray, and what do they have to lose? Worst case scenario is Keldon Johnson isn't cut out to be a number one or an all-star level player.
He won't be a number one, but okay.
And the Spurs get exactly what they're paid for, which is a
fine.
Second or third option.
Exactly.
Because yes, he's already signed a new contract, and it is a very favorable contract.
Diminishing.
But they've got nothing to lose, and they could potentially have another diamond in the rough on their hands. And that's just one of
I would say he's already a diamond in the rough. Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
the many benefits from this trade. Another major benefit is, of course, the assets that they received from the Hawks in the trade, a pick swap, and multiple first-round picks, including 2 of those being unprotected first.
This is insane, okay? This is not normal. This is insane.
Which we should know by now to never take unprotected first-round picks for granted.
That is true. Honestly, I don't know why people think that we didn't get anything for DJ. Like, if you still believe that, you're just a weird DJ fan. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty apparent that the Spurs got something pretty good for DJ.
Saw it with the Lakers, a team that has Anthony Davis and LeBron James gave up the 8th pick to the Pelicans. There are countless examples of teams having terrible seasons and having to give up top picks. However, again, it's not the assets, it's not Keldon. This still wasn't the most pressing reason the Dejounte Murray trade had to happen. And no, I'm not about to psychoanalyze his off-season clips in which some people are doing and say that's the reason they traded him. I don't care about that.
People say that? I don't know. I want to know this circle, because honestly, I'm too into just the Spurs circle. If people really think that the Spurs traded DJ because of antics, that's wild. Now, don't get me wrong. There was plenty of instances with that I know of with the San Antonio Spurs where it wasn't the best. All right, it wasn't the best relationship. Obviously, he took shots at the franchise, whatever. But and that's before he was traded. But I don't know if that's the primary reason. I'm pretty sure the Spurs were willing to keep him on the team, if he would take the money that was going to be offered. But no. Yeah, I don't know who thought that. That's dumb. That's a dumb analysis.
What I care about is if they had have kept Dejounte Murray, that mediocrity I talked about, or they were going to stay in it for a long time potentially. Because let me introduce you guys to Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings and the Washington Wizards.
Uh-oh.
Now, why am I mentioning these teams? Because the parallels between those two franchises and the Spurs with Murray were disturbing. Yes, when you were being compared to the Kings and Wizards, that is genuinely disturbing. Now, we could look at this extensively, but in summary, these are the records of the 3 teams over the last 3 years.
I don't know. This feels like one of those things, too, where you're saying we could be the next whatever. You're just taking, like, a few teams that has similarities over the past few seasons and saying, hey, we could have became that. I don't know. I mean, we're leagues above these franchises, but I don't know. Sure. I mean, we were mediocre just like them, I guess.
These are the number of All-NBA players they've had, number of top picks, etc. You get the point. And the point isn't solely about finishing in a similar spot with similar levels of talent, because that could happen over any period of time. But what the Wizards and Kings have done is recommit to this mediocrity. The Kings caught a break with the 4th pick, which might help, but giving major contracts to De'Aaron Fox and then an absurd contract to Bradley Beal is committing your organization to treading water. And I think...
You know what? No, that is a good comparison. He's just saying that we could have chose that road and we didn't. No, that's actually is a really good comparison. Honestly, the Bradley Beal thing, it would be even worse than that because DJ isn't as good as Bradley Beal. Like, it would have been even worse than that. Yeah, no, I understand that. De'Aaron Fox, I think that's a fair comparison.
I think with the new contracts looming in a couple of seasons, we could see the exact same thing happen with Dejounte Murray. I need to make this very clear. This wasn't just the right decision from the Spurs, but it was the only decision. Because even...
Dude, oh my God, this dude is speaking facts. I got something to say, but I'm gonna let it play a little bit.
Even if Murray were to improve another 15%, unless you get absurdly lucky and a mid-lottery pick turns into Giannis. Because yes, I'm high on Keldon. Yes, I'm high on some other players that I'll talk about in a bit. But the odds of those guys being a top 5 player in the league, which you need to win a championship, are very, very slim. And the only way to increase those odds is to get rid of Murray and get a higher pick.
Okay, so let me say this, okay? Let me say this. I've stuck by my take for a long time now. I kept saying this, and I'm just, I was classified DJ hater, but I kept saying this. I didn't think that there was an option better than just trading DJ. I said that before we trade him, before there was even anything out there that the Spurs were looking to trade him this offseason. I said that. I actually said it. You can go back and watch Views from the Rafters with my boy Switch Hill, Impeccable, and Maddie. And we had a video in particular that we were talking about Dejounte Murray. And this was before he was traded, like weeks before he was traded. And my take on that, and I stood by it, was that there was no other option that made sense. Either you trade him now, in which this is his highest value, especially with there being a couple years, so he's not just a rental for any team. Him just now making an all-star appearance, so you can definitely make a argument for that, for getting us some good things for that. But not only that, it was the fact that we were just going to be mediocre, because the other option was keep DJ and then try to get DeAndre Ayton. And even then I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. We're still going to be mediocre. Even if we got Ayton and Levine and DJ, I still don't think that that's a necessarily better team than what we had in like 2019, right? I just didn't see it. So,
and how do we know this is going to work? Because there are examples of this. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. They're a prime example. They were in a similar position to those three teams.
They got rid of everybody.
They had some decent young players, but also still had Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol keeping them afloat. They traded away those guys, and yes, I'm going to contradict myself, but they were actually still okay. However, they got lucky and got a top pick and got Ja Morant in addition to Jaren Jackson Jr. However, it was the same idea, and it was 2 top picks that got them to where they are, in addition to some other smart moves around the edges, which I think are very similar to what the Spurs have done recently. And even if you consider Memphis just lucky, look at teams that haven't bounced back yet. However, it seems inevitable that they will. And I'm talking about the Rockets, the Thunder, the Pistons, the Magic, all of these teams with seemingly superstar level talents. And just ask yourself this question, or ask someone you know this question. Wizards fans, Pistons, Rockets, Thunder fans, who do you think is more happy? You know the answer to that, and that's because they've bottomed out and they now have a direction, as do the Spurs. However, getting back to the point about the Grizzlies having a roster full of great role players and complementary pieces to build around their young stars, this is exactly what the Spurs have been doing well over the last few years. Let's take Devin Vassell for example. Similar to what I said with Keldon, everything suggests he will at the very least be a great complementary piece.
He will, yeah, I keep saying that. I think he's going to be one of the most solid players for the Spurs. Like, more than likely, he'll probably give us, 17, 18, maybe up to 20 points per game. I think he'd be pretty consistent in that. Yeah.
But he might have even more potential as a scorer than Johnson because of his touch from
easy.
all 3 levels. He's good off the catch from 3 and capable of pulling up as well. And in addition to that, he can use his wiry frame and ball handling ability to get downhill and finish at the rim. But above all, he has a silky smooth mid-range game that he can seemingly get to whenever he wants.
Like Chris Middleton.
These plays where he does what so many great shooters do by just using slight little hesitations and screens to get to his spot and finish effectively. Now, he's not quite at the levels of Chris Middleton and Brandon Ingram, but
I said Chris Middleton.
Got 42% on over 2.5 pull-up twos a game last season, which might not seem overly impressive, but it was double the volume of the year before on increased percentage. And if he continues...
that's stupid impressive. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This dude's making a really good case for Devin Vassell right now. That is stupid impressive. The fact that he doubled it, but then his percentage also went up. That's beautiful. And also, more attention was on him this season, so this was even harder to get than last season. That's impressive.
On that trajectory, he might be at the level of some very, very good pull-up shooters, and that's in addition to the potential he's shown as a playmaker and as a defender. And it's not just Vassell either. Look at who they just drafted in Jeremy Sochan and Malachi Branham, in addition to Keldon as well. And you can see the Spurs really like the idea of these big, versatile wings that can do a bit of everything on offense, but can also switch different positions on the other end of the floor. And I'm not done either, because you also have Primo, Pirtle, Trey Jones, and Blake Wesley, who, by the way, has some serious scoring potential. And with all of this young talent, paired with the Spurs' history of developing players, it's just hard to imagine that they don't end up with at least one All-Star, maybe 2 of them. But even if they don't, at the very least, there are 5 to 6 high-end role players that could be perfect surrounding pieces for a quick bounce back if they are to get lucky in the draft, similar to teams like the Wolves and Grizzlies have gotten recently. So if you've made it to the end of the video, you may as well drop a like. That would be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. Bye.
Oh, that was a weird way to end that. Yeah. I see why you guys told me to watch this. He was speaking nothing but facts. Dude, you can see all the things that's like saying, hey, you want to see Crip react to something? Because I like Eminem stuff. Hey, you want to see Skip say something crazy? Hey, you like Dragon Ball, don't you, Clan? Hey, Vosh, you like politics? Like everything is just here. That's besides the point. Yeah, this was a great video, dude. Hold on. Good. Oh, crap. Take. There we go. I actually was trying to find this guy on Instagram or Twitter. Oh, wait. Oh, he's on Twitter. Hold on. Let's see if we can send him a message. Oh, crap. You can't send him a message. I'll follow him. Yeah. I actually wanted to send him a message and say if he wanted to go on stream. Maybe I'll send. Hold on. It's not followed by anyone you're following. How should I do this? Nah, yeah, screw it. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to ask him if he wanted to get on stream or something, but who knows? Anyways, yeah, that was a really good video. I really liked it. I'm glad that you guys suggested it. Every single thing that he said was complete facts. Like every single thing this man said was facts.
Because again, before I talk about...
Because the problem is, right now, I think too many Spurs fans they just have hindsight. They're just worried about what the Spurs could have done before instead of looking at what we're doing right now. All of this talk about, oh, you should have just tanked a long time ago. Well, now it's too late to tank. Tanking doesn't always work. So just stay in media. I have no idea what they want. But yeah, he brought up some really great points. Didn't really agree with him with the Keldon Johnson thing, but overall, everything else I definitely agree with. And he brought up some really phenomenal points. More points that I couldn't even think of. So I really enjoyed this video thoroughly. He did a great job. I like this guy a lot. And we got to check out some other stuff that he does, because yeah, that was a really great video. But anytime he posts something Spurs related and you guys want me to react to it, please just let me know. You can message me on Twitter, message me on Instagram, anywhere. Discord, link in the description of the Discord, anywhere, literally. Just send me a message. If you see any video that you want me to react to, I will react to it if it's worth it. Anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. You want to support the channel, you know how to do it. Until next time, deuces.